under pressure from Walker. Now it's Billy Stark and Walker with McAvenny. Good break on now for Celtic. They're overloading on the left, and the offside flag is up. Stark and Miller were free on the left, and that must have been a very tight decision indeed.
Well, I thought he was onside, I must say that, and it must have been really tight. But my eye was taken off with a tussle in the middle of the park job between Graham Roberts and Andy Walker.
There's Graham Roberts. The spirit of the game so far really has been excellent for an Old Firm match. Let's hope it stays that way. Referee Valentine was certainly very quick to get to the heart of that bit of action. Here's Paul McStay and Graham Roberts with the clearance. Here's Wilkins. The back heeler misses out Derek Ferguson. It's picked up by Paul McStay. That's for Chris Morris, and good running by Durant. That was excellent defending by Durant, although he'll be disappointed to have conceded that corner kick.
Well, Celtic have got back a bit of their thrust these couple of moments, but here we are. The boys around did very well there to get back. But they've got their thrust back, Celtic, and we've got a game on our hands already.
So the corner kick taken by Joe Miller, headed away by Roberts to Paul McStay. Superb pass from McStay. A high tackle that from Wilkins on Miller. The ball was certainly in the air, but Wilkins raised his boots, and that usually means a free kick taken quickly. Paul McStay on his left foot. Well, not quite so deadly or accurate with that left foot as he is with the right. But it was quickly taken, this free kick by Celtic. McStay stepping onto his left foot and willing to have a shot at goal, all right, but no problem for Chris Woods.
I must say, Joel, that the switch of play ball that Paul McStay played to Joe Miller just 3 minutes earlier was absolutely a gem. That's what we expect of young Paul. Marvellous bit of play.
It's off Billy Stark, a long ball for McCoist to chase. Bonner will let that run for the goal kick, I'm sure, yes. McCoist was chasing in and certainly showing no signs of any problem from that knee operation he had just about 3 weeks ago. So a reminder of the scoreline, still no scoring, but that certainly does not mean it's been anything other than a superb match. Burns just touching that away from Walters. Stark in trouble on the ground. All a bit torrid for a moment, but the referee was very close to the play. Here's Paul McStay getting away from Wilkins and from Bartram. That's one for Joe Miller to chase, but good play by Roberts, reading it well. And a bit of anxiety there as McAvenny closed in, but just barely lofting it forward again. Joe Miller backing into Bartram. Well, I don't think Joe Miller has any real complaint about that. Hadn't much hope of winning the high ball against the tall figure of Jan Bartram. Trying to even things up a little. There's Roberts with a free kick.
I wonder where you, Joe, learned that one, Jock, eh?
Dare I say it? We can't mention Pittodrie here, can we?
Listen, that was from Miller. That is his other Miller has taught him that one.
There's McAvenny with Goff. Handball indicated by the linesman, and the decision goes Rangers' way. It was McAvenny who was the offender. The referee reacting to the linesman's signal. Roberts with the free kick, looking for McCoist. Up goes Aiken. Stark into space, but the only player there is Bartram for Rangers. Now Derek Ferguson to Wilkins. White did well as Walters went in behind him. There's Richard Goff, hustled all the way by McAvenny, by Walker. And down goes McAvenny. Scott Nisbet will be in trouble. They appear to catch McAvenny as both players are running back. And there will be a booking for the young fullback, and let's see what this was all about. It was Goff who was put under intense pressure by both McAvenny and Walker. The ball then broke free, was played forward by Stark, and there was McAvenny, and he appeared to be held off there by Nisbet. So there will be a yellow card for the young fullback.
Well, his hand did seem to catch McAvenny in the face here, didn't it, Joe? I don't think you can complain about that.
So one booking apiece now. Scott Nisbet for Rangers, Derek White for Celtic. What has otherwise been a very fair match. So Celtic's free kick. McStay and Burns together. Burns trying to get away from Derek Ferguson. That's a foul, all right. McCoy thumping the ball against Burns and McStay have a little chat off the ball about the effectiveness of that move. This time it's Joe Miller who picks it up. Referee waves play on. He thinks that Miller was guilty of overacting, and Joe Miller getting a little bit upset. He'll have to calm down a bit. Likes Bailey's header. Up goes McStay. Well judged by Nisbet. Bailey's in again. Stark and Bailey together as Wilkins who wins it. So it goes to Ian Ferguson. Good play by Ferguson. Taking on Morris towards the byline. Strong play by Ian Ferguson. He's supported now by Bartram. That's towards Walters. Headed away by White. There's Paul McStay. Handball by Wilkins, I think. Thumped over the top by Ian Ferguson, but it's Wilkins who's penalised. No, indeed it is not. It's Paul McStay who's been penalised for lifting his foot too high. Dangerous play by the Celtic midfield player. And this is a superb opening for Rangers. Well, Pat Bonner looking anxious as Celtic pull everyone back into the box.
I bet they wish they had David Cooper at this moment in time, Jock, eh? Just an ideal position for him.
Although I think he is giving an indirect free kick for dangerous play rather than a direct one. We'll see if the arm is raised before the kick is taken. The referee making certain the wall goes all the way back. Well, Celtic will be feeling very upset indeed if Rangers cash in from this free kick. And now the referee will take action against Frank McAvenny. McAvenny getting upset by the arrival of Gough at the edge of the wall. The referee Valentine taking action against the Celtic centre forward. Remember, he was ordered off in the match earlier in the season in October here at Ibrox between the two clubs. And now protesting to the referee. So referee Valentine perhaps taking additional time to calm things down. They become just a trifle heated in the last moment or two.
I did notice, Jock, that Big Roy gave McAvenny a real roasting there. He maybe get some after the game too.
So now the free kick can be taken. The referee raising his arm. It's Walters who takes it. Well saved by Bonner, going to his right. He must have seen that come very late indeed. It was indirect. That's why it was prodded there by Wilkins to Walters. Now Bonner going to his right, saving well for Celtic. Now Joe Miller. Hustled out of it. It's Ferguson to Walters. Here's Mark Walters now as McStay tries to get back to make the tackle. So McStay was leaning on Walters. And the decision goes Rangers' way. Well, I thought that McStay was leaning on Walters, so Rangers have the free kick. So Richard Gough arrives at the edge of the box. Wilkins with the kick. Blocked by Paul McStay, but he wasn't 10 yards away, so that free kick will be taken again, I think. So here's Wilkins once again. Bonner going up for this. Well, that must be inspirational as far as the defenders are concerned. Pat Bonner hasn't made a semblance of a mistake so far in the match.
Well, that was toffee for him really, because Ray Wilkins hung it up there, and it's a goalkeeper's ball, that kind.
There's Ferguson's header, straight to Miller, trying to release Tommy Burns. And Nisbet appeared to impede Burns as he tried to play the ball, yes. The ball was not within playing distance when Nisbet kept Burns away, so the free kick's been given. And here's Joe Miller, he's away from Nisbet this time. A good chance for Celtic. Headed away by Goff, only as far as Morris. Morris turning away from Durant. Here's Andy Walker, but he's offside. So frustration for Andy Walker this time. But it's remarkable how quickly the game switches from one end to the other.
I see Celtic are making a substitution now, Jock. It'll be interesting to see who they're going to bring on. They're going to bring on Rogan, I believe, and maybe to replace Tommy Burnsey and play a complete five at the back, Jock.
Well, that might suggest that they're content to stay with an even scoreline. But let's see if that change is eventually made. Here's Wilkins towards Durant. Bailey goes in with a good pass for Walker to chase. Roberts goes across. Fine tackle by Roberts. Timed to perfection.
No, it's in fact Joe Miller is going to come off, Jock. Yeah, Joe Miller's coming off, and they'll push Tommy Burns forward. Yeah, that may be. That may indicate that they're going to be happy with a point now, Jock. Which it's not unrealistic to think that way now, because Rangers have had more purpose in the second half, and they want to stem it a bit, Celtic now.
So Celtic in possession with Chris Morris. Rogan now at left back, Burns pushing forward. There's an error by Nisbet, having to retrieve his own mistake. And McAvenny trying to cause problems there for the Rangers defence. Nisbet getting a rollicking there from Graham Roberts. What an error this was. Quite clearly Chris Wood's ball. Why the misunderstanding arose, I don't know. McAvenny in quickly. Nisbet did well to recover. And then the ball was bouncing awkwardly. Woods did well for Rangers again. Well, let off for young Scott Nisbet. Ferguson trying to find Nisbet. It's stopped by Walker. Here's Rogan, a fresh pair of legs for Celtic. They may well take this for a run, but Goff is coming across. Still Rogan. Inside to Burns. Good tackle by Ferguson. Paul McStay picks up the loose ball. He sees Morris on the right. Well, the first time pass didn't come off for Chris Morris. He had a lot of space to utilise on the right.
You know, it would have been a tragedy, Jock, if that had been a goal for Celtic. Oh, in a sense, there's been so many good things about the game, and to be decided on an error from a young lad would have been a real tragedy. But I still believe there'll be goals.
So 20 minutes gone in the second half. Still no scoring. There's confirmation of the scoreline. 25 minutes left. And Rangers perhaps having the better of exchanges in the second half after a very even opening 45 minutes. But here's Tommy Burns now, finding space, coming forward, over-carrying the ball somewhat, but showing his determination, getting it wide to Morris. Well, that's good play from Morris. Here's Burns again. Morris trying to gather the ball on the run, but Bartram steps in for Rangers. Good play from Paul McStay. Two men waiting in the box. There's McStay looping it across to Rogan on the far side. It's back to Billy Stark. Appeals for handball against Goff. It's still not clear for Rangers. There's Paul McStay. Paul McStay with the opening goal. 21 minutes into the second half. The Celtic end goes wild. A superb strike by Paul McStay. It's only his fourth of the season, but it was McStay who won that ball on the right initially. Looked over the cross. Anton Rogan nodded it down. There was Billy Stark, some appeals for handball. As the ball was then scrambled out from the head of Graham Roberts. Then nodded down again by Morris. There was McStay, and Woods was helpless.
Yes, well, what a marvellous hit. Here he comes across to the way to the far post. Rogan goes up with Walters. Not back to Billy Stark. I don't think it was a penalty. Rangers couldn't get it cleared. And what a hit from Paul McStay. My goodness me. Oh, marvellous goal. But I'd just like to say that Tommy Burns, in this role he's playing now, has created a lot of problems for Rangers prior to the goal.
Well, bedlam now from the Broomloan Road stand. There's the scoreline as Paul McStay breaks the deadlock for Celtic, and the Premier League Championship is a step nearer suddenly for Celtic. After being under the cosh for substantial parts of the second half, now with that determined burst of attacking play and a deadly strike from McStay, they're in command. Here's Derek White, and I fancy now, I like that Billy McNeil will be very pleased he has introduced Anton Gogan to hold this lead.
Oh well, you know, the manager can sometimes be judged in his substitutions, and you've got to say that it's been a marvellous one for Billy.
There's Ray Wilkins. McCoy sets off, but Aiken goes across. He seems to be tripped by McCoist. The linesman tells the referee that that was a foul by McCoist. Well, Ali McCoist hasn't had the best of afternoons for Rangers, but these Celtic fans suddenly are enjoying the match to the full.
Well, I think obviously, John, that Alan McCoy's coming back from an operation in his knee. Has still got some way to go before he gets his real sharpness.
There's Graham Roberts lashing the ball forward. Rogan plays the Rangers attack onside. There's Aiken. Burns got a touch. Here's Billy Stark trying to help it on towards Morris. 1-0 by Durrant. Well, Paul McStay taking the game by the scruff of the neck suddenly. Now striding forward. Walker on his right. He may go all the way himself. Looking for a free kick as he goes down with Derek Ferguson's challenge, but the referee waves play on. It looked in the end as though Paul McStay was trying to set up another shooting chance for himself. Here's Durrant. In steps Aiken. To Benny, to Stark. On the far side is Morris. Andy Walker comes across. Morris again. Oh, this is great play now from Celtic. Handball, I think. No, the referee waves play on. Graham Roberts survives. The referee certainly couldn't have been closer to the action. This is Derek Ferguson. Now Wilkins. That's one for Nisbet to chase. Derek White goes across. What a fine tackle by White. And now Burns, who was so important in that move leading up to the Celtic goal. Since his move to a more attacking role. Goff did well there for Rangers. This is Nisbet. And Durrant is onside. Roy Aiken goes across. Still Durrant. We had McCoist and Ian Ferguson waiting in the middle. Well, this is good play. Nisbet to Durrant. Turning Roy Aiken now, coming inside. He had help ahead, but he couldn't find either Ferguson or McCoist.
Jock, I've got to say this, that the Rangers midfield is now look decidedly tired. And this may result from the hard physical game they had on the Wednesday. Not so much even the physical side, but the emotional thing about it. And Celtic are really dominant now.
There's Derek Ferguson, who was so influential for Rangers in the first half in midfield. There's Roberts and Walker together. It breaks for Nisbet. McCoist is well offside.
But what exactly Rangers can do at this stage, I'm sure they'll use a substitution. That they may bring Graham Souness on, but they only can, if they bring on Monroe, he's only a defender, Jock, and they need to win the game. So they have a problem.
Well, again, perhaps the difficulty about being a little bit short in the striking department in their squad. One possible change would be Souness to try to reorganise the midfield and take off a tired pair of legs. There's Souness now warming up to come on. Seemed to be a push by Ian Ferguson, but the referee allows play to continue. Here's Derek Ferguson, and now Nisbet. Billy Stark challenging Wilkins. On the far side, Bartram's in space. Bartram trying to get into a crossing position, but it's back with Walters. He may cause problems now for Celtic. Here's Walters again. Good effort, but made look easy by Pat Bonner. Well, this is what the Rangers fans want to see more of from Mark Walters. Stepping inside for the shot at goal, but Bonner's positioning made that look easy.
Yeah, I would think that Graham Souness will come on and replace Ray Wilkins. Ray's given his all. I think the fresh pair of legs are needed now.
Durant now wandering into the right side of midfield, linking with Derek Ferguson and Nisbet, the youngsters on the Rangers side. Nisbet brought down by Walker. That was a clear foul by Walker. The Rangers anxious to get back on level terms as quickly as they can and set up a big finish. There's Richard Gough, who scored the equaliser the last time these sides met here at Ibrox. There's Derek Ferguson, headed away by Bailey to Bartram. There's the equaliser. Jan Bartram gets his second goal for Rangers, and with the equaliser, 1 goal apiece. A fine snapshot from the edge of the box. The ball played in by Derek Ferguson was won well by Bailey. There was Bartram on his weaker foot, the right, driving that through a ruck of players, and Bonner couldn't reach it.
Well, John, that came out of the blue. No one expected a right-footed shot there, did they? Here's the free kick. Ferguson plays in. It's knocked away.
So McAvenny setting up a
And
chance
Bartram
there.
is a marvellous shot. Unexpected, out of the blue, and Rangers are back in the game.
Well, what a finish we have in prospect now. 1 goal apiece, 16 minutes left for play. Here's Mark Walters. Still going inside, over towards Ferguson. He was offside anyway. Well, I think that any fatigue in the Rangers' legs, Alec, will surely now have departed. They won't be tired anymore.
No, well, that inspires, the goal inspires you. Celtic got the inspiration from their goal. But I still think they could do with Graham on the park. I still see signs of tiredness in Ray Wilkins, who's had a marvellous contribution in terms of the effort he's put in the match. And of course, a good pass.